There's this passage in the Old Testament where God just takes great delight in putting to shame idols and those who create and worship idols. He says of a man who is forming an idol in Isaiah 44:19 through 20. He says, "No one comes to his senses. No one has the perception or insight to say, I burned half of it in the fire. I also baked bread on its coals. I roasted meat and ate. Should I make something detestable with the rest of it? Should I bow down to a block of wood? He feeds on ashes. His deceived mind has led him astray, and he cannot rescue himself or say, isn't there a lie in my right hand?" And so God is just showing the foolishness of this man who is doing all of these really practical things with a piece of wood, and then he looks at the remainder of his wood and says, I think I'm gonna create a god out of this. I'm gonna carve an image into this. I'm gonna worship this as God. And I think God takes incredible delight in putting to shame the idea of idols and those who worship idols. And I think God still takes great delight in putting to shame our modern idols. Our idols don't look the same that they looked back in the time of Isaiah, but they are just as foolish now. And for me, coming out of these last few months, I've recognized some idols in my life, some things that I looked at and said, this is something that's going to give me protection. This is something that's going to bring me security. This is something that is going to make me feel satisfied or give me love or whatever it is that I'm craving for. I would look at these earthly things. And over the last couple months, God has really sort of shattered and crushed those idols and snapped me back to reality. And hopefully he's done the same for you guys as well. And I think that a big shame would be is if we went back to normal as things are opening back up. If we just went back to our old way of life, we went back to those idols instead of clinging on to the Savior who has really pulled us through some of the troubling times that we've had recently. And so my challenge for us is to really come out of this stronger, to come out of this changed, better, in a deeper relationship with Jesus, recognizing that he does save us from our idols. It says in 1 Thessalonians 1:9 through 10, it says, "You turn to God from idols to serve the living and true God and to wait for his Son from heaven, whom he raised from the dead, Jesus, who rescues us from the coming wrath." And so we have to understand that Jesus gives us everything we need for life and for godliness. All the things that we were looking for those idols to bring us, Jesus is the one who brings those to us. The security, the protection, the comfort, the love, the satisfaction, all of those come fully and completely from our relationship with Jesus. So I pray that you would look at idols with the same disgust that God does, and that you would cling tightly to Jesus as your Lord and Savior. God bless.